got a chance to see the new episodes of Countdown on Prime with Jensen Ackles. Let's talk about him right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zank. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about the next episodes of Countdown, episodes 7 through 9, and then a portion of 10, okay? I don't know if you haven't got a chance to watch it yet. I don't know if I'm going to really go into heavy spoilers, but I'm sure I'll be dipping into, at least plot points and things like that. If you want to know nothing about the show whatsoever, definitely go watch it and then come back. But yeah, we're going to talk about, it's basically like a 24 type show without having the clock, basically. And Jensen Ackles plays almost like a Jack Bauer type character, except this is in more of an ensemble cast. Not that 24 wasn't, but Kiefer was the main star of the show. There was no ifs or buts about it. Here it more is an ensemble where you have Eric Dane playing the main boss of this task force of LAPD officers and detectives, all kind of combined together. And I think that they did a good job with it for the most part. I'm a little confused about certain things, but this is basically a terrorist type show where they're following a terrorist, and there's twists and turns going on. But it's a continuous story. It's not a procedural where every episode is different. Here, it's a block of episodes where they're going after one guy, right? So, in this case, they're going after a character named Volchek, who is Russian and had some people murdered. His family was murdered during some kind of a strike by the Americans. So, he decides to come to America to learn about America and then do a terrorist strike as a revenge type situation. That's the basic storyline, and they get wind of this happening, so they create this task force of this very eclectic group. So you have a couple of tech guys. So you have Chianti Bell. And you have Evan, played by Violet Bean, who is from The Flash. And then you also have Jessica Camacho, who's more in the field, playing Amber Oliveira. She is also from The Flash. Then, of course, you have Jensen Ackles, who is basically the main star. Him and Eric Dane are the most well-known of the cast. And he's playing Meacham. And then Blythe is Eric Dane's character. So there's some stuff kind of thrown in there as well. Yeah, again, it's mostly good, but there's some confusing pieces in here as well. And then I don't know who the big guy is, but he's pretty good too. I'm not sure what the actor's name is. Unless his name is Uli, maybe. But, he's the family man of the group. I don't think anybody else really has family besides him. He's got a couple of kids and things to that effect, which come into play. So, they're tracking down this this terrorist, and, he's got a truck company, which we learned in the last few episodes. But then we find out that he owns a whole bunch of different parking lots. And that's where he's kind of creating these trucks. And he opens up a production company so that he can reskin the trucks. And then park them wherever he wants just by getting a permit through Film LA, apparently. Although they don't actually say Film LA. But that's where you get permits through, just FYI. So there's some coincidental stuff in here as well pertaining to the guy's family. He tells them to get out of town, and instead they go to a recital, which just happens to be where the trucks are parked. Whatever. Meanwhile, Meacham has a tumor. He's got a tumor on his head, you know what I'm saying? But he's got a tumor, and this thing is slowly eating at him to the point where he can barely stand up at times, and he does pass out at certain times. And he and Oliveris have this connection, although I think that she was miscast just purely due to her height. She just looks very strange among everybody else when she's 5 foot, and everybody else is even the other woman, Evan. She's still 5'7" or 5'6", 5'7". So she looks fine amongst all the guys, but Oliveris just looks very, very tiny, and she's the one in the field. If anything, she should have been the one behind the computer, because Evan looks fine with a gun in her hand. The other one just looks comical because the gun is bigger than her hands are. So, but anyway, they have a connection, and he finally tells her that he has this tumor. She presses him until he finally gives in. So, the first episode that we're going to talk about, which is episode 7, because I've done reviews. You can check out my other reviews. I'll put a link up top for my other reviews of 1 through 3, and then 3 through 6, or 4 through 6. But anyway, this one's called Nothing Else Helps. And here we have them all splitting up to follow different leads. And I think that there was also there's another Russian in there that's kind of in the middle of this, where he's also trying to stop Volchek, but he doesn't want the Americans to know about it. But he's got information that he's unwilling to give up. They tie into his computer system to get information, and he quickly cuts them out. But the best part of this episode is the safe episode, right? Or the safe scene. And I'm just saying, like, being safe. I mean, like a physical safe. And because Volchek is tracked down by this other this Russian government person, I don't know if he's an ambassador or whatever, and he says, look, we want the money that you stole, which is how he's financing all this. And then they're going to basically kill him, and they bring him downstairs. He tells them they torture him. And this is only one portion of the episode. But and then he finally gives in and says, okay, I'll take you to it. It's in my safe. And he takes him to his house, and he's undoing the safe. And he's like, if there's a gun in there, we're going to kill you or whatever. It's not going to be pleasant. But he ends up, I thought there would be maybe an escape route in there, but there isn't. It's not an escape route. I'm not going to tell you what happens there, but that is the best piece of that episode. And it's a very, very memorable scene, I think. I think the fact that he outsmarts them was great. And that kind of leads me into some of the other episodes. Anyway, before we continue, remember to give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. If you can, subscribe or share this video out there, that would be great as well. I'm trying to grow the channel out. On top of that, I am a writer myself. You can check out my stuff on Amazon. You just type my name in, or there's a link in the description below, including my 4-novel sci-fi series, Destiny Aurora, which has plenty of twists and turns of its own. It's like an epic space odyssey type of situation with an eclectic crew. You're going to have lots of fun with it. It was made into a board game, an RPG, a graphic novel. It's also on Audible with some really good voice talent in it. And all my books are on Kindle, including my YA fantasy novel, Tales of Ravenor the Iron Witch. So if you like dragons and magic and all that stuff, that's got that in there. And then my new graphic novel called Fairy Tales of Terror, where we got a Psycho Cinderella and a Captain Hook killing people with his big hook, running around New York City because they escaped from novels, and they are being tracked down by Tiger Lily from Neverland. So it's lots of fun. Anyway, we're launching that on Kickstarter probably next week when I finish the film I'm working on. Go to the QR code here or the link description below and sign up now, and it'll notify you when we launch. All right, so let's jump right back into Countdown, and just kind of a weird name, Countdown, for something like this. But anyway, that was the best part of that episode. So let's go into the next episode, which is episode 9. That's 8, and then 9. So I kind of skipped over 7 because there really wasn't a whole lot to 7, more than them just kind of chasing their tail. So episode 9 is where Meacham, not Meacham, but well, first of all, Meacham is like, he's almost pretty much down and out at this point. And they're also kind of hinting at a relationship between Chianti and Evan. And we're going to talk about Evan in a second too. But I think really in 7, they end up busting this warehouse, but there's a guy waiting for them there. The whole thing is all taken apart, stuff like that. There's nothing there. It's completely devoid of everything. So somebody tipped them off, and they don't know who. So I think that's basically that part. Meanwhile, in 8, I also think they find out about the production company, and they go visit, the offices of the production company. And then in 10, this is where it's all kind of coming to a head. They're actually tracking him down. They're tracking down the trucks. They also track down a truck that they think is going to have explosives in it, and it ends up not being what they think it is. But anyway, this and again shows how smart he is. He's timing them, everything like that. So he's getting all the pieces, meaning Volchek, he's getting all the pieces together for the final run. And meanwhile, also, at this point, Eric Dane finally meets with the ambassador, the Russian ambassador, and things go extremely badly there. And we then go into, this is where I'm really, and also we meet Evan's sister comes to town out of the blue. And there's absolutely no reason for this character being in existence at all. I think it was trying to give Evan a little bit of backstory, but it was completely waste of time. There was no reason for this character to be added at all. She's in like 2 scenes, and they're superfluous. Her part in the scene, her scene with Evan alone is superfluous, and then I thought maybe she'd be put in danger, but she isn't. And on top of that, with the other scene that she's in, she could have been removed from it, and nobody would have noticed. So then, in 9, we get to the point where everything's kind of set up for the big finale. And I was like, yeah, but there's like up to 12 episodes. What's going on here? So, because it even says in the coming thing where everything's been coming to this conclusion. So they're going to conclude it in 10. That's very strange. So they end up, 10 continues on from 9 to the point of it ending. So the conclusion of the Volchek story is in the first half of 10, and it's kind of everything that was all the buildup of how smart he was and stuff like that. It comes down to a gunfight, and I was kind of disappointed, truthfully, about how this thing ended, because everything that it built up to it was disappointing. I'm just going to let you know that. It's just disappointing. And, Meacham also has accepted his fate that he's going to die from this tumor. And, he is given another chance. I'll just put it that way. And then in the middle of the episode, it jumps 10 months. 10 months. I was totally put off by this. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they start a whole new storyline in the middle, of the episode. I was like, what is going? It should have ended. It should have ended in the 10th episode, or they could have compacted it into 9, or just made some of the other stuff a little longer. It was no reason for this. This felt like I'm going into a new season, and I only have 2 episodes left. So unless they're going to tell this whole other storyline in 2.5 episodes, because this one at this point in time of this recording, it hasn't launched. Like episode 11 isn't launched yet, so I can't see it. But I'm very confused. But wait until you watch it, where 10 ends, the story ends, and then all of a sudden it says 10 months later, and you're looking about the fact that you have 20 minutes of the episode still left, and you're just like, what the hell's going on? So it's very weird. I don't know why it was put together this way. I don't know why they're going into 12 episodes. Well, I know why, because they have more money, right? If they're selling 12 episodes, it's better than selling 10. They'll make more money. But for the viewer, it's very strange. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I liked everything up to the 10th episode. The 10th episode felt very rushed. The last confrontation felt very rushed, and it just didn't feel fulfilling to everything that we'd gone on to with this villain that they had pushed that was extremely smart and then ended up not being that smart. I'm just going to leave it at that. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys watch it? Did you guys like it? Did you not? Are you still watching it, or 10th episode you're done completely? Let me know. And I think that they could have added some more personal stuff to this than what they did. Like, nobody had a really personal stake in this for the most part, except for like a scene. So anyway, nobody was brought on because they had a relationship with Volchek or anything to that effect. He was just this, third party that had no continuation to anybody else's story. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. But anyway, remember to give me a like and subscribe. Also, I'm gonna, on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm gonna rate it. For me, these 3 episodes kind of dropped a little bit because of the fact that the ending kind of wasn't that great. So I think it was like an 8 or whatever else. I'm gonna drop it to like a 7 to a 7.5. Still worth watching, still above average, but it kind of took a step back. All right. Also, check out my stuff on Amazon. Just type my name in, or there's a link in the description below. And definitely jump into Fairy Tales of Terror. It's on the QR code here. There's also a link in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next one. There's 550 people following that, so become number 552 wherever I'm at. All right. Thanks for watching, and have an awesome week.